Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bunny Cakes. It is day 6 of the Peter Monn 10-day Vlogmas challenge. I'm once again posting late, but it's going to go up at least closer than yesterday's did. The prompt for today is to make and share a gratitude list. So talk about things that you're grateful for. I believe the number is 6. Yes, 6 things. Checking over on my laptop here. Things may look a little bit different. I decided to film on my phone to see if that clicking noise persists. I'm thinking, at first I thought it was, I had placed the camera on my keyboard. And then I thought that it was Mace typing, and I think a little bit it was, but not entirely. And now I'm thinking it is something to do with that specific camera. So I'm going to film on my phone and see if we have the clicking noise or not. Hopefully it's gone and I'll be able to fiddle with the camera and figure out what's going on with that. Anyway, back to the 6 things I'm grateful for. So the first thing I'm grateful for is my family. So Mace and Shadow and Pygmy and Candy, I'm grateful to have them. I didn't grow up with the best family life, so it took a great deal of getting used to living with Mace and Pygmy and then Candy. I think that it probably caused some friction in the beginning because Pygmy is very loving and kind, and I'm not used to that. So like when I'm sick, she wants to take care of me, and that feels very weird to me. I've gotten more used to it, and she's gotten more used to the way I like to be taken care of. So there's that, and Mace had to get used to it as well. Candy, not as much. But yes, I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for my little shadow beast. I love her to pieces. She's my little soulmate, like Peter says about Pee-Pee and his dogs. She is my family. She's my little fur baby. And I will be broken without her. I've had a lot of pets before. Some pets that I got very, very close to and some not as much. But I think Shadow is the pet that I've gotten the closest to, and I don't know that will ever happen again. Mace calls her my witch's familiar, which is probably true. She always knows how I'm feeling, and she knows when I'm sick. When I had my surgery back in 2017, she actually learned my medication schedule, and she knew that I had to take this one medication when I ate. So if I would sit down with food and not have it, she would go over to the shelf where it was and she would meow at it until I would come over and then remember, oh yes, I need to take this medication before I eat food. So she's my little medical alert cat. She alerts to my diabetes when my blood sugar is low. I could probably get her certified if she would do it for anyone else, but she won't. It's just me. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for my family. Let's see. I am grateful for my job. I have gone through a few very awful jobs. The 2 main jobs that ended up awful started out not bad. First, when I worked in the deli, it was something to do, and I was able to take that physical labor, and the management wasn't bad. And then management changed, and things just got worse and worse, and that kind of physical labor and the stress helped to destroy my health and my back, on top of genetics. And then I have a fuzzy hanging. Then the job I had after that with the Apple contract started out really good. The first year and a half was probably great. I was moving up, I was doing good, I was getting bonuses, I was getting raises, everything was great. And then um, things started to change and it became awful, and I was feeling trapped, and I felt my health going sideways again. Um, and I didn't let the stress get to my back as much, probably in part due to the fact that it wasn't manual labor. Um, but, it got really bad, so I had to quit. And I did something that was very crazy. Um, I quit without having a proper job. We depend a lot on having the income that we have in my house. But what I did was I started tutoring English as a second language, um, like on a as gig work basically. So I wasn't making a lot of money and it wasn't definite money, but it seemed like the only thing I could do and maintain my sanity and try to recover my health because it was getting that bad. And I was pretty sure that I was going to end up getting fired anyway. Um, so uh, between about second or yeah, the second and third week of May and uh, like the third week of July, I was applying for jobs as a second job. So I would work my 8 hours. On my breaks, I was applying for jobs. After work, I was applying for jobs for like 6 and 7 hours straight. Mace thought I was obsessed. And to an extent, I was. Um, some of it was of course you have to put yourself out there to get another job, and some of it was desperation, and some of it was the whole PTSD triggered thing. I have to get out, I have to make things safe, I have to. And then on July 4th when I quit, um, I was still applying for jobs, and doing interviews and everything I could do and working as much as I could, tutoring to make money and make sure that we had everything. Um, I was able to work enough that we didn't notice any changes. And, like, what would have changed is that we wouldn't have had creature comforts. Like, I might have had to cancel Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and those things. We would have been fine if I hadn't gotten the job I have now. But then, on a crazy whim, I applied for this job that I didn't think I was qualified for. Um, and it has become great. I make more money and I'm not as stressed. I'm actually in the field that I studied, well, one of the fields that I studied for. Um, the company really cares about the employees. Um, like when I was still in my probationary period, Shadow got sick. She had a tumor pop up on her paw again, and we were worried. She had a cancerous tumor uh, about a year and a half before that, and the doctor said that she had had about a year to live, and it was past that, so we were worried that it was that back. Um, and I don't know if it's good or bad news, but it was a different kind of cancer this time. It was more in the soft tissue instead of the bone that the original cancer was. Um, she's perfectly healthy, but of course, having that scare, I called the vet and we took her, and they said she needed surgery. And I told my boss, and my boss was like, "Yeah, whatever. You just take time off. Let me know what you need." Um, and then the other day, or yeah, now it's the other day, when I hurt my back, my boss had asked me to, well, actually, I had volunteered to come in Sunday, uh, yesterday, and do some extra work, and I hadn't gotten to it, and my boss sent me a message, and she's like, "Hey, do you need help with this?" Because it was something that shouldn't have taken that long, and where my back was bad, I just couldn't focus until later in the evening, and I told her, and her first thing was, "Oh my God, are you okay? And do you need anything?" And that sort of thing. And it's actually genuine. Um, they care about people. We have one of my coworkers got sick, and the company sent him stuff, and then our teams that work directly with him, we got together and we sent him stuff, and it's all company organized and um, nothing mandatory. Um, this company really cares. I mean, the CEO knows my name. One of the mandatory meetings I had when I first signed up was a meeting with the CEO, and he was sitting there um, taking notes. So he would write down our name and like where we were from and our hobbies and stuff. And then in later meetings, he actually says hey, and he calls people out by their name, and like he's the CEO, and I'm just like a new employee at the bottom. Well, not at the bottom, I'm like tier 3, but still kind of low. um, so this company feels so much better, so I'm so grateful for that. um, I'm so grateful that I don't have that stress. I don't have to worry. If I need time off, I can get time off. um, and and I can work kind of at my own pace. And again, that it's more in one of the fields that I studied to be for, because um, I was beginning to think that going to university and college did nothing but put me into thousands of dollars of debt for the rest of my life. Um, but it's made things better. So that's two things, and I've rambled on for about 12 minutes now. One of third things the third thing I'm grateful for is social media, which sounds crazy for somebody who doesn't post on social media a whole lot, except for YouTube now, hopefully. But I've made a lot of great friends on social media, some that I need to reach back out to because depression and stress and everything put me into a hermit hole. Um, uh, but I've made some great friends. Uh, the Vlogarinos, um, some people from a website called Gaia Online that I've recently reconnected with. Um, I'm part of a Discord community for Hellfreezer. He's a Reddit horror narrator. Love him. He's awesome. All of the people in his community are great. Um, I've made some really good friends, people who like are really wholesome and caring. And one of the things that made me really appreciate that was I live in Kentucky. I live in eastern Kentucky, but last week there was the big storm that hit western Kentucky. And when I woke up, one of the first things I saw was one of the women from the Vlogarinos. We have a group chat that we're in on Facebook to organize the Christmas cards. Um, she had tagged me and one of the other women that's from Kentucky, and she was like, "Are you guys okay? Check in." Um, and like I hadn't. I feel like I hadn't really been participating that much up to that point, other than sending cards and talking occasionally. Um, and it just felt good and wholesome. People care about me. Um, and I care about them. I have genuine concern when they're having bad days. Um, and I do that, but I don't expect people to do that for me. So social media has uh, let me be a hermit without being a hermit, especially during the pandemic. Um, I've also got some really great students with my English as a second language um, classes that I do, which kind of functions a bit like social media. So yeah, I'm grateful for social media. So that's three things. Let's see. Um, I am also grateful for my health. It hasn't been the best lately, but knock on wood, I have been much healthier than I have any right to be. Um, I found out recently that I've got some major vitamin deficiencies that put me at extreme risk for things like COVID and that sort of thing. And Um, and I mean, my back is feeling awful right now, partly because of the weather and partly because I fail at operating a human body on a regular basis. Um, but I am grateful for my health and that so far um, I'm doing okay. And I make a promise to my body that I'm going to make things better. I'm going to take my vitamins more and do the things I need to do to stay healthy. I'm actually going to the chiropractor tomorrow to help fix my back, hopefully. Um, and okay, so let's see, family, social media, my job, my health. I need two more. As you can tell, I'm making this up on the fly. I tried to be studious and make a list, and it just, I couldn't make a list today. My attention span wouldn't allow for it. Um, I am grateful to have a home to live in, um, especially with the storms that happened recently. It could be all taken away in an instant, and the weather is still crazy here in Kentucky. It was almost 70 like Saturday, um, and now it's cold again. It's I think it's in the 30s right now. I'm trying to check. My computer went to sleep on me. Yes, it is 32 degrees out, and Saturday it was in the upper 60s. I might not have gotten as high as 70, but it was still really hot and humid, and there've been storms, and it's crazy to think that we're having this kind of weather this time of year. It shouldn't be in the 60s and 70s this close to Christmas. It's weird. So I'm grateful to have a home and to be safe. Um, with that, I'm grateful to have food on the table. Um, and let's see, the other thing I'm grateful for is I'm grateful for the ability to make magic and provide gifts and merriment and joy to my family. That is one of my favorite things uh, as this at this time of year is being able to have that fun and that joy and the gifts and the food. So I'm grateful for joy. That's what it is. I'm grateful for the joy of the season. I know a lot of people have it very hard um, this time of year. And as a bonus, I am grateful to my therapist. Um, I don't know if my therapist will ever see this video. I might send it to her. I don't know. Um, but I am grateful to my therapist for being awesome, for being there for me. Um, I finally found a good therapist. I've had a good therapist before, but what kept happening was, and I've talked about it in my videos last year, my troubles finding a good therapist. Well, I think I finally found a good one again. We really get along. In some ways, we're the same person. It She is so dedicated to helping people and helping me that I have actually had to tell her we can't have a session because she's not feeling good, which is um, very enlightening because that's exactly who I am. Ace can tell you that. I don't stop. Pygmy can also tell you that. I don't stop until I'm dying. And even then I'm still trying. So I'm grateful to my therapist for helping me with my mental health. Mental health is very important. So that is my bonus. My therapist and my mental health are very important. As somebody who suffers from major depressive disorder and complex PTSD, um, it's a lot. And one of our fellow vloggerinos has been dealing with this as well, and I can totally relate. Um, Sometimes it's very hard to go into places, especially this time of year. There's so many people, and people are grumpy, and I mean, I'm grumpy too. That's why I'm Krampus. But I try not to be grumpy, and you just have to learn to cope What I do is I put in my earbuds and I try to control my mental environment. If I can't control the outside, I control the inside. Um, so yeah, that's what I try to do to protect my mental health, um, and try to avoid the things that I find triggering. Luckily, again, I haven't had to deal with that as much. Now that I'm in a much lower stress job, I don't feel that way nearly as often. Thankfully, knock on wood, I've been lucky. But I know uh, that many people have a hard time during the holidays, and I feel for you. Um, and for the vloggerinos that are having trouble, feel free to reach out to me. I understand. I get it. And I'm glad to be an ear to lean on or an ear to listen and a shoulder to lean on. I know words. I teach English as a second language. You can tell, right? um, but I will gladly be there for you if you need me, because we have to support each other, and that's like the whole point of our Vloggerino group, right? Is to be together and support each other, um, in honor of Peter Monn being awesome and bringing us together. Um, okay, so that's the end of the sappy feeling part before I get all emotional. Um, as far as other things I've done today, mostly I worked, um, uh, trying to help one of my coworkers with a massive project that he took on without realizing that it was going to be a massive thing. Um, so I'm going to help take some tedium from him, uh, doing regular work stuff. Um, as soon as I get off of here, I am going to go make the frosting for my oatmeal cookies that I still haven't made. Uh, and let's see, I made sausage gravy and biscuits for dinner tonight. It was awesome. Um, I love to have comfort food this time of year, especially since today was colder. I like to eat those things when I'm cold. Um, Also, sausage gravy and biscuits makes me think of my grandpa. When I was a kid, my grandpa would always make sausage gravy and biscuits on Sundays. So we would either go to his house and he would make it, or he would come over to our house and make it for us. And I always loved going to his house, but I liked it more when he would come to our house, because when he would come to our house, he would always bring a baker's dozen, which is 13 donuts instead of 12, um, of Jolly Pirate Donuts. And Jolly Pirate Donuts is a donut shop that is, I think, kind of exclusive to the Midwest. So I grew up in Ohio. I think there are only a few of them left. There's one here in Kentucky, um, that's kind of close to me, and I think there's one or two maybe left in Ohio. Um, but it was my favorite donut shop, and my grandpa, when I was a kid, I liked the twisted donuts, and he would always get one twist donut. That would be the extra donut, and that was my donut. No one else was allowed to have it. Um, so that's one of the reasons I like biscuits and gravy. It's not as much about the flavor, although that's quite good. It's that it makes me remember my grandpa. And what I need to do now is, I need to make some donuts, so I can have a twist donut for breakfast, and then maybe biscuits and gravy for lunch. That's a plan. Maybe next week. Um, I know nobody in my family will be upset if I make sausage, gravy, and biscuits again. In fact, I may have just sealed my fate on both the donuts and the sausage, gravy, and biscuits. We'll find out. Tune in next week to see if I'm trapped in the kitchen making donuts, uh, and breakfast food. Um, I actually still have quite a list of foods and desserts that I'm supposed to make that I'm behind on. I have been told I have to make a pumpkin roll soon. Um, and I no longer have any excuses not to, because I have all of the ingredients and all of the things I need, the utensils, the pan and everything to make a pumpkin roll. I've just never done one before, so I keep procrastinating. Um, and I'm also supposed to make a Mexican fruit cake. At least that's what it was called here. I think it's also referred to as a pineapple sheet cake, um, which is one of the most delicious cakes I've ever had. Um, and it's possibly because it's like 95% sugar. um, the cake batter is almost entirely sugar, and then it's got cream cheese frosting on it, which is sugar and cheese. Um, and I think there's something else I'm supposed to make. I usually make bacon chocolate chip cookies this time of year, and I've not done that. I made the oatmeal cookies, I just have to make the frosting for those. I made all kinds of rum balls, so that's pretty good. There's a bunch of other foods that I've been conscripted to make. I believe Pygmy wants Swedish meatballs soon, and Mace asked me to make tacos soon. Um, so there's stuff I have to get on. But I have a couple of 3-day weekends coming up, so we'll see. Um, Thursday I'm making our steak dinner, and then Friday I'm not cooking. And Saturday is Pygmy's day to cook. She makes the ham and the turkey and the stuffing muffins and all of that stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. I didn't read any today, but while I was working, I was listening to Rob Halford's Christmas album. Highly recommend it. Alright, so that is really all I have today. I'm just rambling. Um, Apparently I needed to talk a lot, but thank you again for watching, and I will be back tomorrow, and we'll talk about Day 7, which I think is your favorite holiday movie, which is gonna be hard for me. Um, anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow, and have a great day. Bye-bye.